Hi everyone, Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching and listening here in the United States or across the world, thank you very much. If you can do us a huge favor that is free to do, doesn't cost you anything, give us a thumbs up, follow, subscribe, like, share, reshare, repost, and even reaching out to 25, 50, 100 contacts in your phone and your device, and let them know and share the Voices for Voices podcast with them. They won't uh, be upset that you shared it with them because they're going to love it just like you love it. And welcome. If this is your very first Voices for Voices podcast episode, and welcome back to uh, all past viewers and listeners of the Voices for Voices podcast. We're so incredibly grateful to have you with us. Without you, there is no show, there is no podcast, there's nothing. So thank you very much for all that. I want to invite everybody to check out the description because that has a ton of information, not just, the description of each show and the like the chapter markers, like the table of contents in a book, let you know where you can find certain parts of our conversations. Uh, and you can also find the link to our merch shop. So if you didn't know the Voices for Voices had a merch shop, well now you do. And you gotta head to that description below, and you can also purchase the two books behind my shoulder uh as well. It's a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to put this content together for you. And here in the United States, any purchase of any of our merchandise, of any of our books, and any donations, whether you use Venmo, whether you use Cash App, whether you go to lovevoices.org, 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 and donate there. In the United States, 100% tax deductible. If you live in another country, province, state, territory, just want to check with your tax provider and check and see what the protocol is for donating to a United States charity, a 501(c)(3) nonprofit charity organization that is Voices for Voices. Thank you. So today's show, we're going to talk about life in front of the camera or in front of a microphone and what that's like. Some things may surprise you, some may not, but thought I would share a little bit because I do spend a good amount of time in front of the camera recording voice for uh, the audio podcast portion. And then we also, for those that are watching or have watched, the TV show portion on YouTube or Rumble. You can find those. Uh, and so yeah, so what's life like in front of the camera? I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, what you think, but we're gonna go through and just have a another transparent conversation like we do. And again, did I say thank you again for joining us? Well, thank you for joining us again. So life in front of the camera is very interesting because it's interesting because while there are parts that may seem, I don't know, like glamorous or like, oh, it must be nice to be in front of the camera and must be nice to do this and to do that. I get that. Excuse me. But it's not always like that. So what you see is the finished, what you see and or hear is the finished product. So you see the filming portion, whether the video or the audio. That's what you hear, what you see. What you don't see are the moments leading up to filming. So that can be, we talk about the different topics, different areas that we'd like to share and discuss that are top of mind at the current time that we're going to be doing a show. And so nobody sees that part. Uh, yes, there are topics that are very, very straightforward, but that doesn't make them easy because being in front of a camera, it may look just like, this little camera, which is what it is, and it's got the little ring light around it. For this particular episode, we got the little ring, but we have a larger ring light that we use sometimes depending on various things, various variables. And and so when we're trying to come up with a topic or an area, we know that not every single topic and area we discuss is gonna be pertinent, meaning like kind of like relatable to everybody. And we know that. And our goal is to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. Well, if we talk about the same thing every single time, it might get a little old. Now, there are times where we do talk about similar topics. And the reason why we do that is because it's a current thing that's happening. And so it would be um it wouldn't be let's see. It wouldn't be the best thing to do to skip it and to go to another topic when things are going on, whether mentally, physically, spiritually, what have you. You're driving to work, driving to the grocery store, you're riding the bus, you're riding the train, you're in the airport, you're flying, uh, wherever you're at, uh, it might be the first time you're watching and listening to one of our shows. And so if there's a kind of like, I guess I would call it like a current event. So sometimes current events are very similar. Not all similar, not the exact same everything, but there may be elements that make events or experiences similar in nature. And everybody listens, watches, interprets, reads, the transcript. Everybody's like definition in a way could be a little bit different. And so when we cover different areas, or when we cover similar areas, that's what we try to do is speak from a little bit of a different angle. I mean, there's so many elements, so many parts of mental health that, yeah, there's going to be some duplication at times. But again, anybody, everybody has mental health, no matter what. No matter what somebody tells you, no matter what you think, no matter what you read in a book, everybody has mental health. Okay, so there's going to be times where a similar feeling, like taking a shower, doing the hygiene things, brushing teeth. There's going to be times where those are going to be more difficult than others. And there's going to be times where we're going to celebrate that we were able to do that and do those things. So those things are a little bit similar, but they might be a little bit different as well. And so getting in front of the camera or microphone can can really sap energy because it's in our mind, right? So we have an idea called the letter A, and we know and we've researched and we have a real good idea how we want to proceed and leave some room for uh, some experiences that tie into it. You still got to do it though. You still got to talk about it. You still got to go through the, not just go through the motions, you have to execute against it. Meaning, okay, an idea comes to mind. I got to write it down. I got to put it somewhere if I'm not in front of the camera at that exact time. So ideas, experiences, that's a big part of being in front of the camera, even though that those elements aren't in front of the camera, right? Because before we get in front of the camera, want to have somewhat, right? Somewhat of an idea of what we're going to chat about. And so for us to do that, we have to have an idea of what we're going to chat about. In order to do that, we have to take, whether it's a minute, 10 minutes, maybe go 2 days without something solid. And that's good. It helps our mind, helps our body rejuvenate. I took 2 days off from the gym. I could have fallen into the pit of making today the third day and then the fourth day. But I got up and I was like, all right, we're doing the gym. And so we did it. So that's kind of executing. Like, I want to go to the gym. I like benefits of that. And I'm going to go. Same thing with getting in front of the camera. Once we have the ideas and the thoughts, we still have to execute. We still have to go in front of the camera and the microphone so that we can complete an episode or two or three, depending on the topic and a myriad of other things. If we don't, then they just become idea. They just remain, not they become, they remain ideas. Like we can hope, but it's not something that we want to, I don't know, get too tied up in. Like I hope this and I hope that. Yeah, there's some things where we do. We hope we get to do this, or we hope we get to do this, and we hope we don't have to do this, and then we hope that we don't have to do that. But when it comes down to it, you got to do it. So getting in front of the camera, you have to have something to talk about, right? I mean, that goes without saying. So what's prepared me, I guess, a little bit for this? So I teach at a local university. So over the course of my teaching career, I've taught undergrad, graduate, online, in person. I've created courses um, to over 1,000 students. And this is coming from like a smaller university, I would say. So 1,000 students over the amount of time that I've been teaching is a lot. So there's a lot of individuals that I've had the uh, the luxury of being able to share some of my knowledge that I have. Again, nobody's perfect, so I just share my knowledge and part of it can stick and some parts don't. So standing up or being in front of the camera on an online course, I've had a lot of experience doing that. Like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of doing that. Right before I went in and had my mental health, uh, I'll say I'm on a hit rock bottom mental health wise. Uh, I was still teaching, but I was having panic attacks. I was having all kinds. Like in my mind, I was like, this is what I want to do. I would like to teach. I would like to have this opportunity. And then it got to the point where I just that was becoming a little bit too much for where I was at. And it wasn't a lot, but it was just too much at that time. Because when you're teaching, you have to do some form of preparation. I've spoken in front of groups, big and small, 300 students at a time or 25 organization uh, members at a time. And so those types of things help set me up to be a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. So there's stress being in front of the camera. I haven't mastered stress. I haven't mastered anxiety. I'm doing the best I can. Doing the best I can, just like all of us. We're all doing the best that we can. So sometimes I'll have elevated anxiety or stress, and that will show through to an episode or more. And it has. I mean, let's be real here. It has. The more comfortable we are talking about a topic, the more we understand, the more we research, the more we, practice, the better that we can be. And so I think about the teaching opportunities and the speaking opportunities that I've had. All of those things really have prepared me for this Voices for Voices venture with the podcast and TV show. Because, yeah, I mean, I guess we could get in front of the camera and just start talking and talking and talking. And some of our shows may seem like that. That just means I have elevated stress and anxiety, um, and so we have a lot of episodes. 553. I think this is going to be 554. So there's a lot of episodes, a lot of topics, a lot of guests, a lot of solo episodes. And so we have to be able to not even talk coherently. I mean, yeah, that's nice and easy. Like, oh, yeah, that must be easy just to sit there and talk. Well, it's not. It's not easy. After all the shows that we've done and all the teaching I've done, I still have anxiety. I still have stress. Have I learned to manage it? Not really. I mean, yeah, I have coping mechanisms and the therapy and all that and medications and all that, but that doesn't take every ounce of stress and anxiety away. So practice is helpful. I know I stutter at times. I know I pause at times. I know I say like and so a lot. That's just me. It's just me being transparent. And I say and a lot and so probably a lot. And so again, what you see and what you hear, it seems to be like, oh, that's easy to do. Well, it may be that I know there's people that are better than me that have shows and podcasts. Sure, I'm not the best. I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best for me, the best that I can do. But there's so many other great, fantastic podcasts and shows out there that helps me in front of the camera of just to understand, Justin, you just have to be yourself. You say, like, oh, that's easy to say. Well, it is easy to say, but there's gonna be times where I'm looking away, I'm looking down, I'm looking this, that. There's times I'm gonna have kind of like what the best I can do for a beard. Um, some facial hair, sometimes not. Sometimes my hair is gonna be longer, and sometimes not. Sometimes I'm gonna have a hat on, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm gonna have a branded shirt that says Voices for Voices, or sometimes not. All of those are elements you gotta think about. It's easy to go, well, yeah, you just do this. Well, once you do it, it becomes a little easier, but it just takes me a few extra minutes of going, okay, are we doing a show today? In my mind, this is how it kind of goes. Am I doing a show today? I think so. Okay. So I got to make sure I have the branded or the unbranded uh shirt, hat, no hat, uh ready and available, that it's not somewhere where I won't be able to find it. So that's another part about being in front of the camera. It looks like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Why wouldn't you have a Voices for Voices hat or a Voices for Voices shirt uh, on while you're doing your show? Well, yeah, it does make a lot of sense. But you still gotta have it. You still gotta find it. Just like my socks. I think everybody has the socks or ordeal at times where you can find one, but you can't find the other one. It's like the washer or dryer's like eating it or something. I mean, it hasn't eaten it, but it's like, where did the other sock go? I had two and both went in. And so it's the same thing. So I'm looking for a shirt for the show. Is it washed? Is it ready? Can I find my hat? Am I gonna not wear my hat? The little things, but they make a big difference to the viewer and the listener. Not so much the listener, because more of the visualizing me and our guests speaking. But for our viewers, I mean, you can absolutely see, like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you? It's like that. That's a good observation, but we still have to do it. Just like we still have to have topics and ideas and thoughts that we want to share. Well, we want to have the clothing, the branded clothing or unbranded, somewhere where we can get to it easily. So if it's in the middle of the day and I'm working on something and I go, oh, an idea just came to me. And so I have to also think about, is everything charged? Is the camera charged? Is the light charged? Is the microphone? Uh, So yeah, you said, well, make sure that yeah, it makes sense to make sure that, you have everything charged up. Well, how about this? You might say, well, why don't you just have it charging while you're doing it? Well, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can. And one of the times, like now, where I can't is because there's different locations where I film shows at. Some you can barely see like my face, like it's like it's nighttime. So even with the ring light, it doesn't matter. It I still and there's probably shows still out there that are like that. Now that'd be the closest place to have everything plugged in, but if nobody can see my face or if it's just real dark, then it kind of defeats the purpose of doing it, of doing a show that's going to be, viewable because it's just going to look again, just all going to look like it's nighttime. To where I'm at now, it's a different spot, but there's no charging station close. It's not like it's miles away. It's not. It's far enough they can't reach it. And so have to have the battery life in these times to be able to unplug and film without running out of battery power. Again, is it is this rocket science I'm talking about? Absolutely not. But each of these individual things impact being in front of the camera. If the camera's not charged, if the light's not charged, you're not going to get in front of the camera. I mean, you can get in front of the camera, but the camera's not going to be able to turn on. The light's not going to turn on. You get what I'm saying? If you don't have the branded clothes or the non-logo, sometimes I do have and wear shirts with logos and that. But 98, 99% of the time, I have a certain brand. We have a certain brand. And like I have the hat, but I have like a plain shirt, plain color shirt. So all those add up too, right? So it's not just, am I ready for the show? It's, is the equipment ready for the show? So we can want to do a show, we could be ready, but if everything's not, if the filming equipment is not charged and I'm at a location that it's going to make me look like it's nighttime, I got to find a spot, another setting where it doesn't look like that. So it's like this, where it's much better. Doesn't mean I'm not saying I'm good looking. I'm just saying you can at least see if you're watching, you can at least see a person speaking. My head nods. Sometimes I'll do the neck stretches and but that's just me. And that's where the transparency comes through. Like I don't have to be so, and I'm not so polished. I want to be like we are. When we first started the show, we had this whole monologue kind of part, like an intro, and it would take 5 or 6 minutes or more to go through it. And when you're shooting for like 30 minutes exactly or around there, or 60 minutes around there, it's mostly if you're, you know, if you're shooting for the 30-minute episodes, you got to be that takes you, right? So 30 minus 5 or 6, that's 24 minutes for a show. And I know I'm way over that, right, for this show, but this gives us flexibility that we can have a show that's 20 minutes. We can have a show that's 50 or 35 or 40. But that's because we're so transparent. Sometimes we have to, if we have a guest and um, sometimes their availability is only specific timing. And so that's another thing to get in front of the camera. So, okay, I got the branded clothes, the hat, the deal, all the equipment's charged, ready to roll. Find that spot where it doesn't look like it's dark, it's nighttime where I'm at. If I'm talking to a guest and they literally only have a certain amount of time, well, I got to make sure that you, our viewers, our listeners, wherever you may be, are able to have a good sense of who the guest is, what they do, and the topics. And sometimes that's easy to do. If somebody talks fast, sometimes that's difficult to do. Where it's like, darn it, I just wish I had like 5 more minutes or 3 more minutes. And so that's when the monologue started to go by the wayside, where it's like, no, like we'll do like a semi-monologue, but the semi-monologue's in my head. It's not written down anywhere. I mean, yeah, I could look at previous episodes, but I want to be authentic. So I just want to be like, hey, I'm here. You can see I'm the one speaking. I'm not lip syncing. No teleprompter. It's just me and the camera, the light, and you watching or listening. And so guests have the ability to affect me being in front of the camera. Again, individually, each thing I'm talking about is not hard, okay? I'm not talking about building a rocket ship. I'm not building SpaceX. I'm not building rocket ships getting ready to go to Mars or the like with Elon Musk, okay? But if you take these little things and you add them together, like a little bit, then a little bit more, 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 a little bit more. So now it looks like a lot, or more, obviously more than just one thing on its own. And so I hope I've been able to give you a little bit of an overview. I know I didn't cover probably everything. Like I said, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I shared the best information that I could at this current time. But again, in front of the camera takes a lot of different pieces. Some of it we have a lot of control over, some of it we don't. And I realize there are so many other shows that are so much better, so much more polished. They come with graphics and that, sometimes we'll do that. We'll do a screen share, but I'm not the best at it. I do the best I can, but I'm not the best at it. There's so many other shows out there that are able to do that. I'm just being me. Our guests are just being they're just being themselves. And that's all we want. We want transparency. We want to help people. That's what it comes down to. We want to help people build on that foundation of mental health, trauma recovery, and much, much more. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the show, of the podcast. Can't do this without you. So again, if you can give us the thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost, pull out that phone, or if you're on your phone listening or watching, reach out to maybe 25 or 50 of your contacts and share the Voices for Voices podcast and TV show with them because we can't do this without you. We're not at episode number 554, which this episode is, without you. Without you, we don't have a show. We don't have an organization. We're doing something else. It's because of you, the viewers, the listeners, here in the United States, all across the world. It's exceeding my expectations. It really is. I got the goosebumps because it really is that this camera that I look into or near is going to be able to be beamed all across the world, like every other episode has. It's just so thankful to have you with us. So if you can help us out with some of those free things, follow us on social media. That was the other area. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're rebuilding our TikTok that got taken down by, um, well, we're not going to get into that right now because we had a good show. We've had a positive show, and we will talk to you and see you very soon. Until then, let's celebrate all the voices in the world and let's be a voice, not only for us, but maybe somebody else in need that they're not able to share their voice as strongly as they wish that they could. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.